just as easily as I eat nuts. It gives me great pleasure to present this extraordinary Toastmaster and an equally wonderful person, Toastmaster DTM Malini Hebbar. Here's one other thing that I want to say. Our TMOD has already announced what the topic is, and for many of us we think, oh, we already know what this is. Think again, really, think again, because when quadruple DTM Malini Hebbar takes center stage, she has this amazing ability to reinvent the familiar, leaving even the experts wondering how she makes it fresh, relevant and immersive. Ma'am, it's all yours.
Vidya had to endure the introduction for the second time. I remember the mammoth introduction that you gave me when I handed over to Anu. Thank you once again.
Pleasure,
Vidya.
always.
Rest of you will have to endure me, so if you put your thumbs up for the next 20 minutes. I begin with a question. Who do you think is the most nervous right now?
Me.
No. The topic was not given by me. It was Geeta who said how to be an amazing Toastmaster of the day. And the one who has been the Toastmaster of the day will sit there wondering whether I am going to dissect her. But I must praise you right at the beginning, Florida. You were an amazing Toastmaster of the day. No second thought about it. Okay? The first thing that I want to tell you when I take a session on being a Toastmaster is that being a Toastmaster is not about me, but it is about we. Okay? Now, why do I say this? A Toastmaster of the day is akin to being the master of ceremony. We have a renowned master of ceremony here. A Toastmaster of the day is the master of ceremony, and the master of ceremony, as the word goes, master of ceremony, should be in complete control of the whole program, right? That is why all those who take up Toastmaster of the day role will have to rethink, revisit the idea, and have to tell themselves that my work begins even before I take stage. I come to center stage. What I mean by this is, as I have said, it is not about being me, but it is about being we. You will have to mentally think of all the possible problems, challenges that a meeting could have. And for this, let me tell you, you must develop your power of observation and your power of listening. Now, when you sit through one particular meeting, there are so many things that you would have observed. And you would have told yourself, this should have been done in a better manner. This should have been different. Remember those points when you come here and when you stand here. Now, let me tell you, where do we begin? We can begin even with the president, because the Toastmaster takes stage soon after the presidential address, right? The president can make 3 mistakes, and these mistakes have been made repeatedly, not once or twice. The 3 mistakes are, one is forgetting to announce prayer, okay? One more is forgetting to welcome the guests. One more is forgetting to ask for member achievements. Now, out of these 3, the Toastmaster can take control of the first. He or she can ask the person who is supposed to render the prayer to come here and render the same. But the second and the third should not be impinged upon, because that is the prerogative of the president. Nevertheless, you don't know whether the president will ever remember to do that at the end of the meeting. So very politely, you can say, our president perhaps wants to keep the best for the end, and she's going to welcome the Yes, and she's going to ask for member achievements at the end. You're indirectly reminding the president that he or she hasn't done that. Now, secondly, all of us think that it is the work of the task of the sergeant at arms, that is giving the slips and also giving the timer card to the timer. Yes, it is the task of the sergeant at arms. But supposing she has forgotten it, what goes wrong? Your time here as Toastmaster goes for a toss, right? Because the compact quality of the meeting will be lost. So as the TMOD, it is also your responsibility to ensure that the slip is given, the roll takers are all there, and also the timer sits. Now today Swati is at the right point, but sometimes they don't take the right position. And then it goes against the tightness of the meeting, and some speakers may complain at the end that they could not see the timer, etc., etc. So move beyond the obvious. You are the Toastmaster of the day, you have the agenda, you have the script, but move beyond the obvious. Now, if you use your power of observation, you will also see that one of the most commonly made mistakes is the topics master forgetting to ask for the timing, or the general evaluator forgetting to ask for the timing and forgetting to ask the audience to vote. Toastmaster of the day, as I've already said, is the master of the whole ceremony. So you need to take charge immediately. If you feel that somebody has forgotten, you need to take charge immediately. What mistakes can the evaluators make? The evaluators can make two mistakes. One is that they announce the title, which is actually the prerogative of the Toastmaster. Even if they make that mistake of announcing, doesn't matter. You announce it as you ought to announce it. And before announcing it, you may even say that the title has been announced, but since it is my privilege, I will do it again. So that you indirectly show to that evaluator that he or she was wrong in giving the title of the speech. Most of the evaluators read out the objectives, the purpose statements, but forget to say the time. What is the time? Now, different speeches have different time limits. So it is not always 5, 6, 7. So the timer can be confused. So it is the duty of the evaluator to announce the timing, but if the evaluator forgets, it's always the responsibility of the Toastmaster to announce the timing so that the timer is not confused, so that there aren't complaints later on. Now, what can you do effectively to be an amazing Toastmaster of the day? Now, in public speaking, we use this idea of primacy effect and recency effect. Primacy effect is what you say right at the beginning. And for that, I would like to introduce two ideas. One idea is of a hook, the other idea is of the elevator pitch. Now, elevator pitch, most of you know, right? What is an elevator pitch? What is an elevator pitch? Who could tell me about the elevator pitch? Yes, Vidya, come.
You sell yourself in less than a minute. And the concept came when, can I take another minute?
Yes, of course.
In the US, where in a business district, where a large number of companies were in a particular place, and so young interns would bump into CEOs of all these major companies, and they had that 1 minute where they could sell themselves. And today, everybody, especially those with their fresh resumes, are supposed to be must have their elevator pitch.
Yes, of course, thick.
Thank you very much.
Of course, we are not talking about a resume, we are not talking about a job. But then an elevator pitch is what you say right at the beginning for 30 to 40 seconds, which is going to capture the attention of your audience. As the Toastmaster of the day, keep your elevator pitch ready, steady and strong. Now Vidya gave a beautiful explanation. The simple explanation for the term elevator is, if you have to impress your boss, when you are with the boss, in an elevator. You get just 30 to 40 seconds or even less than that, 20 seconds. What would you say? That is the elevator pitch. So that is something that you say emphatically. Now what is a hook? Hook also creates the primacy effect because people will remember what you said right at the beginning. Definitely, research has gone into it. Some people say recency effect, that is what is said at the end, I'll come to that, is remembered better. But both, let's make both emphatic. Primacy and recency. For primacy, we use that hook also. You know a hook, right? What does a hook do? It holds. Yes, holds. Okay. So, what are the different hooks that you can use? One hook I used. What was it?
Smiling.
No, you
Smile.
started with
Okay.
the placard.
Yes.
Me
Yes.
and
Initially.
Yes.
The visual hook.
You know the visual hook that I used, a trick, kind of trick that I used. Sophie was right, she said smile. Correct. Smile also is a hook.
Or a quote.
If the smile is good and the teeth are good. Okay, it can be a hook.
Quotes can be
Yes,
used.
quotes can be used.
Stories.
Correct.
Statistics can be used.
Statistics, startling
Yes.
statistics can be used. For example, today it was fitness, right? Now, one of the things that I, of course, prepared myself for that, okay? So, about the fitness, it says that 1 hour of, that is what Manoj said, 1 hour of fitness can add 2 hours to your lifespan, alright? Unless you don't like being very old and alive, you must actually exercise. And of course, they also say that it also sends messages to your brain. When you physically exercise, it sends messages to your brain. So it is not only for physical fitness, but it improves your cognitive ability, your memory, your learning. It also says that one of the facts is that when you do sit-outs, you strengthen your muscle in the abdomen, but you don't really lose the fat around the muscle because you can't control the place where you lose your fat. Now you see, 3 facts have been presented, but as the TMOD, you don't have to give all facts at once. Space them out. Don't give too many facts. And 3 facts, the power of 3. 3 facts should do for 3 segments. Space them out. Don't cram your presentation with too many facts. Now, just before we go for dinner, you can give the last fact in a humorous manner. But then, when it is humor, it should always be, even when it is the TMOD, it should be what we call self-deprecatory humor. Now, if I say, you don't burn your fat, so take care about what you eat. Some of us won't like it. Who is she to tell us not to eat? And as though she doesn't eat, as though I overeat. Some of us won't like it. What does she think of herself? Now, self-deprecatory humor would make the person say that, I don't know about you, but I should ensure that I don't overeat. So self-deprecatory humor. Humor, use it, but it's a tall order. It's not possible for everyone. But humor is also one of the hooks that can be used when you are the Toastmaster of the day. But don't overdo anything. Don't have too many things with which you try to impress the audience, because as the Toastmaster of the day, you need to see that the meeting starts in time, that is what we ensured today, and also ends in time. And if the Toastmaster has a very long script, then that is going to be a problem. And almost all of us are passionate about what we have put down. And we have to read that. We have to finish it. No. If you feel that you're running out of time, cut short, because when you go beyond time, you will stop getting the attention of the audience. Now let me ask you 2 questions. Is there a time limit for the Toastmaster of the day?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, there is no time limit specified anywhere. They say that that is just the conjecture. If it is a meeting of 60 minutes, you can go up to 10 to 15 minutes, they say. But nowhere it is put down as to what's the time the Toastmaster should take. Point number 1. Point number 2 is a theme mandatory for a Toastmasters meeting?
No?
Again, not mandatory at all. Why do we bring in theme?
Create an interest.
What we call creative, we say vitamin C, creativity.
Yes.
The minute you give a theme, then everything starts getting into it, and even the topics master will try to gel,
Yeah.
things like that.
Get some
So you can go in for the theme, but it is not mandatory. Why I say this is, even on the agenda, where we say 2 to 3 minutes at the beginning explaining the theme, should change to 2 to 3 minutes of opening remarks by the MC. Because if I don't want a theme, I don't need to take a theme. It's not a mandate. It's a desirable, but it is not a mandate. So some of us may not want to take a theme. We may just want to take the meeting as we want to take the meeting. Sometimes some people come up with weird themes. One particular, if you go to the site, one Toastmaster I believe took the theme of weird bugs. Okay, weird bugs. Now, and compared each member to a bug. I don't know how many friends and how many enemies the Toastmaster of the day had at the end of the meeting, right? And the site, Google tells you that one particular Toastmaster of the day took immense pains of contacting everyone and asking for the favorite singer, okay? Everyone, all. And went on and on and on about the favorite singer of each of the members, going beyond time. So you must, brevity is the soul of wit. We must see that we don't go overboard. One more care that the Toastmaster has to take is about the topic and the name. Sometimes the topic may have a word which is unusual. You have to find out whether the pronunciation is right from the person who has given you the topic. Names, even to this day, I think Laila very often gets referred to as Veera. Davin has corrected us any number of times that he is not Davin but he is Davin, but we still call him Davin. Now Davin won't be happy about being called Davin, that is for sure, right? So let's take care with the title and with the names. Now, one particular thing, when you present facts or figures or whatever, be 100% sure. Your research should be intact, although it is not Phyllis's PhD thesis. You have to be careful with what you say, what you present before an audience. For example, if I give you this quote, okay? There are 2 important days in everyone's life. The day when you were born and the day you find out why. And I ask you, who said it? I'm asking you, who said it? Whose quote is it? You don't know. Okay, no problem. Thank you for saying that you don't know. Thank you. All right. One response. See, one of you might say, Samuel Longon Clemens. Okay? I say, no. Anyone else. And then I say, Mark Twain said it. Without knowing that, the pen name of Samuel Longhorn Clemens is Mark Twain. So to that extent, your preparation should be intact so that somebody who knows cannot actually take you to task at the end of it. Be prepared always. And finally, I'll leave a few minutes. How many minutes are already? How many?
18 minutes are
18? Done. Okay, 2 minutes. Finally, I say that being the Toastmaster of the day is the question of confidence. So you need to build your confidence by taking the other smaller roles, counter, whenever you get the chance to come here and address the audience, take it up, put in your preparation and come here and shine. Okay? And they say 3 V's. Which are the 3 V's?
Voice,
Yes, visual,
voice,
vocal and
verbal.
verbal. Now visual, 55%. Vocal,
38%.
38%. Verbal, 7%. So how you say a thing is more important than what actually you say, but it doesn't mean that I can talk nonsense here and make up for that with my visual appearance or my vocal variety. It doesn't work. Our text should be intact. but the impact of that text goes to your visual appearance and your vocal variety. As Toastmaster of the day, look as beautiful as Florida looked today, and the permission that she gave you to call her Flo.
Go with the flow.
These are the small things. You know, they say that small things but make huge differences. So, back to the timer. I think I have 1 minute. If there is any, Dilla asked me to talk about DTM and all that. Dilla, that will take a lot of time. So we will do that some other time. But if there is anything else, or I can tell you in person. Anything else that you want to say in 1 minute, you may.
Why do we say that content is king when they say it's only 7 minutes for the...
No, that's what I said. 7% you mean.
Yeah.
That's what I said. What? This is Moravians and Armenian, his idea. First of all, now we say that it is 65% and 35%. For content, modern research says 35% and 65%. They don't agree with Moravians, 93:7. According to Moravian, non-verbal is 93 and verbal is 7. As I said, Moravian himself said that he was grossly misunderstood and misinterpreted. It doesn't mean to say that there is nothing in your script. Your script is there, intact. But you see, I may have a very good script, okay? And I come and talk like this. This is one of our resource persons at the university spoke to us. His topic was post-colonialism. This is exactly how he spoke. Post-colonialism came into existence after colonialism. Right means no. And colonialism, that was in the early 40s. Then post-colonialism in the 1980s. Right means no. Every time one right means no. Verbal crutch. And I sat there wondering, what is this right means no? And nothing else entered my head. He had his script, but nothing entered my head. Until very recently, in one of the training programs, when I mentioned it, somebody enlightened me. And I had Buddha's, that Gaya experience of enlightenment. They said, in Kannada we say, Haudalwa. Haudalwa. So, literal translation of Mangalore. Sorry means yes means no. That is what. So what I'm trying to say is, he had his text intact. He had his content. But none of us listened to him. Coming to visual appearance, we had one more resource person. Many of you know her, so I'm not going to. One more resource person. And she was to talk about feminism. And I was working on my MPhil and I was interested in feminism and all that. So I was all ears to listen to her and to gain from her. But she came there in one chudidar like this. And walking style is also
I
like
know.
this. And worse than that, that nada of the bottom was longer than the top. And it was dangling like this. And so sloppy, she dashed against the teapot, and there was a glass of water that got toppled over. And one attendant came running to clean that. And all the time we were looking at that nada. So that is what is meant by saying, content might be your king, but you have to make up for that with your visual and vocal variety. Otherwise, the content is lost. That is what is meant by 55-38-7 formula. Right? Okay, thank you very much.
I think this can be a YouTube trending
Yes,
video, no?
yes.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Malini ma'am. Yeah, I think the section where she showed how the Nada moved